Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we're back inside Real Estate. Thanks for staying with us. Hey, we're going to do some insurance talk. We've got Richard .tonihka here from the Richard .tonihka Goosehead Insurance Agency right here in the DFW area, in the heart of DFW in Arlington. Website, richardtagency.com, richardtagency.com. And, of course, you can touch base with him for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, toy, otherwise, 817-286-2002. You can call him direct. What's going on, Richard?
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm doing well. You know, I keep telling everyone, God blesses me a little bit more every day, and I'm doing better than I should, but not as well as I want.
Well, good. That sounds mostly all positive.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today and going through this was helping people figure out how to shop for insurance. And making sure that they get the best policy at the best price. And step number one, quite simple, is shop around. And that's where I come in. And rather than going around and calling 25 different companies and getting 25 different quotes, give me a call. I will shop over 25 different companies for you and make sure that you're getting the best policy for the best price. And the best policy for you may be different than the best policy for me, because we all have different things that we want out of our policy, and we have different risk tolerances. It's the reason that all of us do a little bit different on our 401ks, and all of our investments are a little bit different because we have different objectives.
Right.
Well, we may have the same objective, but we all have different risk or aversions to risk.
That's right. We all want more than we have. It's just how much are we willing to risk to get there.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's where our conversations, and one of the things that you kind of touched on is doing that research, coming in, and it is not a 15-minute question or conversation that I'm going to have with you. I need to know you. I need to know exactly what your aversions are to risk. What are you looking for? What do you want out of your home policy? Because if at the end of the day, all you really want is total loss, and you don't want to pay for all the different perils, which we touched on last week, then yeah, I mean, that policy is going to be a lot less expensive than a policy that covers you for everything. But I mean, again, there is no magic policy that covers you for everything. You have to make endorsements. You have to get flood insurance. You have to get earthquake. And around here, and those are different policies. And that's one of the things that when I'm going through my conversations with you or anyone is finding out what is the most important thing to you, because whatever is the most important thing to you, that's what I'm going to shop for you. And I'm not going to come back and give you 25 different proposals. I'm going to give you the top 2 or 3. And then at the end of the day, it's your policy. You make the decision. I will walk you through. I like this about this policy. I like this about this policy. This is where this one kind of falls short. And because there are different things that aren't covered with every different one. And there are some policies that cover a lot more on the base policy. And so I don't have to make as many endorsements on this policy as I would on this policy. And when I'm talking about endorsements, you're looking at 80% of all the claims are water related.
Right.
Does every insurance carrier cover all the water losses? Absolutely not. Can you have an endorsement to cover all the water losses? Absolutely not. Not with every carrier. You are going to leave yourself open for different kinds of water losses with particular carriers. And that's important to know, because it's really, when you have a claim, it's important to know how it's getting paid or how it's being classified, because I've seen some hailstorms that have come through and damaged roofs, and then they count that as a water claim rather than a hail claim. And so it's the agent fighting for our clients, making sure that these get classified correctly. That way our customers can get taken care of correctly.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's important for people to know, you know, all of us are here to help people. We are in the business of helping people.
Absolutely.
And we enjoy, helping people. But that means we do need to talk to you. Some things can be dealt with by text or email, or trading voicemails. But, we're talking about adult activities here. So be adult out there, and, think about your financial well-being, which, a lot of what we do is about your financial well-being, particularly when it comes to insurance.
Exactly. And when you're having these conversations, I mean, the reason I'm saying it's not a 15-minute conversation, as y'all well know. I mean, once you start talking to a customer and you start understanding their needs and what their lifestyle is, then that leads you into different directions. And trying to go back and forth in emails, you just lose your train of thought. You're losing the inflection of what is important and what isn't. Because, I mean, of course, we all know that when you're talking to someone, you can understand, exactly when something is really important because of the inflection that they're putting into the conversation.
Right.
So going around and understanding that. So the first thing is shop around. And that's the reason I'm saying, give me a call because I'm going to do all the shopping around. You're not going to have to deal with 25 different people. I'll take care of that for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to point out the Goosehead model, your model that you use, because you've got access to all these companies that are behind the scenes, companies that they're not going to have access to or know how to get to. They're just going to go to the retail outlets is simply what they're going to do, or they're going to try to go to, the website that can supposedly do some of what you do, but nobody can really do what you do because your model is so much more different.
Exactly.
And you do need to know their whole situation. What's going on with auto? Do you have a motorcycle? Do you have RV? Do you have trailers? What is your situation? Do you have rental properties? Vacation properties? The whole situation, because you can bundle things up with your different carriers and give them bundle discounts, but it may not be all with one carrier.
Exactly.
They can't get that anywhere else. You can't go to Allstate. You can't go to State Farm. You can't go to Progressive and get that type of opportunity.
And I can't tell you how many times that I've run across somebody that it's less expensive and a better thing for them to have company A for their auto, company B for their umbrella, and company C for their home insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start looking at every different carrier for their toys, their boats, their RVs, their ATVs, all that stuff.
Right.
Going in, and then also what kind of activity are you having with these different with your toys? Because if it's a dirt bike, then I've got these carriers over here. If it's just a normal street motorcycle, then we've got these carriers over here. No other company or no other agencies are able to do what we're able to do because of the sheer amount of carriers that we offer our customers.
Right.
And then that kind of brings up the next thing is asking about discounts. I'm going to ask all kinds of questions, and it may not seem like it pertains to your home insurance or your auto insurance or any insurance at all, but I'm asking those questions simply to get all the discounts that someone deserves.
Right.
Because what I tell people is I don't want to pay too much for my insurance. I don't want you to either. But at the same time, I want to make sure that you're covered because I don't want that phone call that, oh, well, we're not covered for this. Or you decided to save money here, and the reason that you decided to save money was this isn't covered. Mm-hmm. And that's how you did it. And I don't ever want to have that conversation.
Yeah, and most of the time when you're saving a little bit of money on some of these things that you would probably in most cases advise against, they're really only saving maybe pennies or dollars a month. So we're not talking about big savings with those types of things. You're going to talk to people about all the things that they need to put on there, make sure they're fully covered, and then give them a really good price for those products, for those policies
Absolutely.
as well. So, folks, you need to shift your perspective because I know so many of you out there, I've had conversations with people about this before. We have an emotional attachment to a particular company, and it's probably because of nostalgia. It's because of, our parents or grandparents were with the same company for years and years and years. we're victims of this, in our everyday lives, not with just maybe insurance or other financial services, but, just typical products. If your father used Barbasol shaving cream, well, then as a son, maybe you use Barbasol shaving cream. And it just is what it is, and you've never thought to change or whatever the case may be. So, but we're talking about saving money here, people, and we're talking about better policies.
Exactly.
And this is a shift in your perspective of thinking. Take some time, call Richard. You're going to come away with better policies and at a better price. There's no doubt about that.
And the changes, switching from one carrier to Goosehead isn't that hard. It's a couple phone conversations. That's all it is.
It's seamless. Folks, you want to call Richard. He's at 817-286-2002, 817-286-2002, and he's at richard.tagency.com, richard.tagency.com. Let him know you heard him on the radio. Folks, they're going to take a short break, then we're going to come on back.